How is it that some people seem to lose body fat so easily, but every time you try, you seem to get stuck at the same point over and over again? It's annoying, it's frustrating, and it makes you want to give up. But please don't give up. Hopefully I can restore some faith in your journey by highlighting the 5 mistakes that you're probably making and how to fix them. For those that are new here, my name is Reese Kiffin. I'm a natural men's physique pro, and I'm a physique coach for bodybuilders looking to compete, or just for guys that want to get into great shape. Over the past 7 years, I've helped hundreds of guys to get into world-class shape, and I've had a lot of success with my natural competitors too. For example, Ben here, who lost 25 kilos this year, going from 99 kilos all the way down to 74 kilos, which led him to win his first ever bodybuilding show. And we have Aaron, who's 10 kilos down in 10 weeks. And we have Oscar here, who dropped 11 kilos in 8 weeks to get shredded for his competition earlier this year too. And before we get into the bulk of the video, I think Oscar is a great testimony to what we're going to be going through today. So Oscar came to me at 8 weeks out from his first show this year after working with another coach, because he just wasn't getting the results he was looking for until we started working together. So basically what happened is Oscar was training really hard, he was doing cardio every day, his calories were really low, he was on fat burners, and his body just wasn't responding. And then when he came to me, I took him off the fat burners, we've reduced his cardio, I increased his calories, and I got him focusing on proper recovery methods and getting him sleeping properly so his body would actually respond in the way that we wanted it to. And by doing those things, increasing calories, reducing cardio, and getting rid of the fat burners, he actually started to lose more body fat and started to actually make the changes that he wanted to see. This led Oscar to achieve his leanest ever physique, and he placed 7th out of 14 guys on his show. Bear in mind, this was the first time we'd ever worked together, and it was only 8 weeks worth of coaching to get him to that point. So I think we did a really, really good job. So a lot of the time, the answer isn't more cardio or a bigger calorie deficit. Now, this can obviously be the case a lot of the time. Like, there will be times where you do have to push a little bit harder, but in some instances, it is just a case of taking care of what you're doing and doing things a little bit more effectively. And then if your body still isn't responding in the way we want it to, then we have to look at some reasons as to why and make some specific changes, not just push harder. In Oscar's case, his body was just too stressed. He was putting too much pressure on it and it just wasn't giving him the response he wanted it to. So we actually just took a little bit of a step back, allowed him a bit more time to recover and relax, and then his body started playing ball again. So anyway, let's get stuck into the 5 fat loss mistakes you're probably making and how to fix them. Mistake number 1 is that you drop your calories too low too early on. Although this can speed up the rate of your results, if you can't stick to the diet for more than 3 or 4 weeks, then it's absolutely pointless. And the reason you're only able to stick to this sort of restrictive diet for a few weeks is for a few reasons. Firstly, you're motivated at the start, so it's pretty easy to stick to these pretty restrictive protocols. The fat loss is occurring, the weight is coming down, but you also start to notice your day-to-day energy taking a dip. Your training performance is taking a hit as well. And then with that, your motivation starts to drop, your hunger starts to increase, and so do the cravings. But you stayed strong and fended off the hunger and the cravings for another week or two, but eventually you gave in and you started to feed the cravings, which then led to a binge eating weekend. So you spent all weekend eating whatever you wanted, for then Monday to come around and you restricted your calories really hard again and just repeated that vicious cycle. So rather than restricting yourself so early on, I would just say to not drop your calories as aggressively at the very start. Sit just below your maintenance calories and let your body adapt to that, because even just doing that, you're going to notice body composition changes. And after the first week or two on a slightly less aggressive approach, you can then put your foot down and start to push a little bit harder and speed up the rate of results. Mistake number 2 is that you're going overkill on the cardio. Can't wait for the comments on this one. Yes, fat loss is achieved with the correct energy balance. Burn more calories than you consume in a day. And in theory, this is correct. But if you're doing endless hours of cardio every single week, you're never giving your body that time to rest and recover, which is what it needs to do to respond to the protocols that you're putting on it. And the other issue with doing loads of cardio is that cardio just makes you hungrier. Yes, you're burning more calories, but then your need for calories also increases. And look, sometimes you do just have to suck up that hunger and get on with it. But if you're doing cardio for 45, 60, or even up to 90 minutes every single day, your hunger hormones are going to be firing all over the shop. And another mistake with cardio is that you're probably doing it inconsistently, meaning you're probably doing low intensity steady state one session, and then you do HIIT the next session. And then one week you do 5 cardio sessions, the next week you do 3. Now, this isn't the end of the world, but it just makes the results unpredictable and inconsistent. So what I'd suggest to do is to start with a drip feeding approach with your cardio. Maybe start with just 1 or 2 cardio sessions for 30 minutes each time. You can use the Stairmaster, the static bike, or the cross trainer. Then I would just suggest to stick with that for 2 weeks. See what happens in regards to weight loss or fat loss. And if not much changes, then you can always add in an extra cardio session. Whereas if you actually do drop weight on those protocols, then maybe just keep it the same for the next week. And then once you start to plateau, you can start to make some changes to make sure you are losing the fat that you want to lose. Just a quick intervention before we get back into the video. On Friday, my £99 Black Friday coaching offer goes live to those on my email list. You can join my email list in the first link of the description. My 8-week group coaching program is back, the 8-week shredder, and we'll be kicking off from January the 12th. The goal here is to achieve some rapid fat loss whilst retaining your muscle mass. If not, you'll probably build some muscle. Typically, people lose on average 5.5 kilos on the 8-week shredder, which is of course only 8 weeks. And we have some people losing all the way up to 8 and 9 kilos on their first program. If you are interested and you just want some more information, join my email list in the first link in the description. On Friday, I'm going to send you an email, which is going to have a link in it. Click that link and you'll be taken to a page where you're going to find loads of information about the 8-week shredder. You'll see a video of me talking about it and a load of information and results on that page. So join my email list and make sure to check your emails on Friday for my £99 coaching offer. And yes, that is £99 for the full 8 weeks of coaching. Mistake number 3 is in the gym. You're doing less weight and more reps. Now, while this approach can still build muscle or retain muscle, if this isn't the approach you took with your training prior to the fat loss phase, then you definitely should not be changing your approach just because you're in a fat loss phase. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but I'm trying to burn more calories, Reese. And I'm sorry to say it, but that is completely wrong. Because since when was a bodybuilding style of training created to burn body fat? If you're going to the gym to lift weights, the goal there is muscle retention or muscle growth. So train like you're trying to retain the muscle. Because look, if you're in a calorie deficit and then you start reducing the weights that you're lifting in the gym, you are going to be at more risk of losing muscle. So the idea really is to keep your strength as high as possible for as long as possible. And if you want to burn more body fat, then eat better, stick to your calories, do more cardio. Whatever you do, just don't go drastically changing your training approach. Remember, training is for muscle retention or muscle growth only. These other aspects that I just spoke about are for helping you to burn or lose body fat. Mistake number 4 is that you're not letting your body recover. You think that more is better. It's not. More gym sessions, more cardio, bigger calorie deficit. This sounds right, but if you're doing all of this activity and you're eating fuck all, your body is going to be stressed to fuck. And if your body is more stressed, then your cortisol levels are going to spike, which isn't the end of the world all the time, but if they're constantly up, then that's going to directly contribute to muscle protein breakdown. It's going to make you hold more water, and ultimately you're just going to feel a bit like shit. Because look, a massive part of seeing physique progress is understanding when to push hard, but also when to pull back. There's definitely times to go hard, do more, and push yourself that little bit further, 100%. But there is also time where you need to allow for more rest and recovery. Ultimately, it's just striking that balance between the two and understanding when your body is trying to tell you that you need to pull back. I guess the summary for this point is just to find a level of sustainability that you're able to consistently repeat week after week without feeling burnt out at the end of every single week. And in reality, if you just follow my advice on the previous points we've already covered, you're probably going to find that balance quite nicely. Sorry, quick interruption again. Don't forget to join my email list in the first link of the description where you can access my Black Friday offer on Friday the 28th of November. The offer is going to run from the 28th of November until the 2nd of December, which is £99 for the full 8 weeks of coaching in the new year. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Mistake number 5 is that you have no structure with your nutrition. You have no set meals to follow, you don't know how many times to eat per day, and you have minimal understanding on quality nutrition for fat loss. Sounds like a great way to lose body fat, that. Look, nutrition is one of the hardest things to nail and remain consistent with, but if you're leaving it up for chance, that is the best way to make zero progress. And your day probably goes something like this. You're scrounging around in the morning for breakfast, so you just grab a banana to eat on the way to work. Then you've not prepped any food for lunch, so you're getting a meal deal from Tesco, trying to bump up your protein for the day. And then you don't eat, you go to the gym, and then you don't eat until after the gym. By that point in the day, you've eaten fuck all, you've just trained, so now you're starving, and that causes you then to binge eat all evening, which obviously is not going to be conducive to your fat loss goal. All of this freestyling is only going to get you so far. Here's what you need to do. You need to find your maintenance calories and sit just below it. You need to create 2 to 3 meal options for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and your post-workout meal. And you need to fill most of your daily calories into those 4 meals. Any spare calories that you've got left over can be filtered into a snack or 2. And really, it's as simple as that. You need to just stick to the targets, rotate your meals every few days or every few weeks, depending on how varied you like your diet. And you're probably going to see a lot more progress, a lot faster doing it this way. Look, losing body fat and keeping it off is no easy feat, especially when you're not qualified in this line of work and you're essentially guessing everything that you're doing. I have a car. I know it's got an engine, a timing belt, a clutch, a gear stick, and a few other things I could probably Google. But I would never be able to fix my car with the experience that I've got, because I know fuck all to do with cars, and I'm totally happy to admit that. And for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be taking my car to the garage every single year to get the work done that needs to be done, because they're going to be able to do it way faster than I will and way better than I'd be able to. And the same goes for you when it comes to physique progression. You have a body, and in most cases, 2 legs, 2 arms, and you could probably Google a lot of the things that are going to help you to achieve a specific result, which you probably have done in the past. But actually understanding how to follow these protocols and do it effectively is a whole different ballgame. There's no instruction manual for fat loss or muscle growth. Your success when it comes to your physique will come down to your knowledge, your experience, and your application of those 2 things. And to be fair, that's just another reason as to why my Black Friday offer is an absolute no-brainer. I've been doing all of this for 11 years. I've been coaching and competing for 7 years as well, and I've helped hundreds of guys over those years to completely transform their body and their mind, and you have the opportunity to get a taste of this as well for just 99 quid on my Black Friday offer. As I said before, this is to start in the new year on January the 12th. If you want to learn how to lose body fat for good, you want to learn how to build muscle whilst you're in a calorie deficit, you want to be a part of a team and a community because there's going to be 20 or 30 other guys on this program as well, and you want to get 11 years worth of training and nutrition insights with a no BS approach to coaching, then this is probably something you should get some more information on. So if you do want to get more information as to how all of this works, then join my email list from the first link in the description. And on Friday, check your emails, hit the link that I send you in the email, and it will take you to a page with loads of information and a video of me just explaining things. But anyway, I hope highlighting these 5 mistakes helps you on your process, and I hope to see you making some serious progress. If once you've lost some body fat, you know that you're going to want to build some muscle, then I'd suggest watching this video where I outline the best way to maximize your muscle growth. Peace.